Morning.
Good morning. So I shared my screen. Let me know once it is visible. Yeah. So what we are discussing in the last class. So why the HANA came into the picture and what and all changes came for us and for the other teams. That's what we discussed. The versions of ECC NetWeaver versions we discussed. So which is going to from 3.0 to 7.0 up to 7.0 it will be the only ECC version where core ABAP and over ABAP we are going to work. 7.4 and 7.5 onwards we are going to work on ABAP and HANA, and if it is ABAP, HANA on cloud means greater than 7.5 version, then we are going to work on RAP. So this is technical transformation what happens. Now we are going to discuss on ABAP and HANA part, and then we'll go and discuss about what is BTP, what is RAP and all in future classes. Okay, ma?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then we are going to start on ABAP and HANA. Before going to that, what's happened before and after means. So, sorry, one second. So this is we already discussed. The HANA database got changed. Then HANA modeling came into the picture. BI is working on that. At that time, our will be the same. But what is that HANA database? When it is comes to the HANA database, so what happened? So the hardware and software innovations are happened. So in the hardware innovations, we are not going to much discuss. The cost of that memory will be less, okay, and it is going to store in very less space, and it is having multi cores, okay. So one core is going to process one, like for example, you return select statement. So after that processing statements, in traditional database, first one core is going to execute the select statement. After finishing that, the same core is going to execute the processing statement. Like that it will be. But now you will have multi-core processings here. So what is multi-cores? For example, I have select statements in my report. You saw that in the starting of the reports we did. So one is flowing of VBAK, VBAP, MARA, MAKT tables, one flow, and VBAK, KUNNR passing to KNA1, ADRC, and ADR6. That is one more tree, correct? So two splits will be there. If one flow is executing by one core, the another KNA1, ADRC, AD6 will be executed by another core. So parallelly it's going to run. So that's the reason it will be very faster. So that comes under multi-core processings in the HANA database. Okay. So that is hardware innovation. So but coming to the, because what we required software innovations, right? So what is the improvement came into our means row versus column store. Up to now we are creating the tables, correct? What kind of tables we are creating? Row based tables. But in HANA, we have column based tables also. HANA, ABAP and HANA, yes, 7.5. Okay. If it is RAP, then greater than 7.5. Means we have patches they released in 7.5 also. That is okay. And still the innovation is happening in the RAP. So every quarter they will release the patches. They'll release some objects. I'll come into the wrap. At that time, you can understand what is releases, what they're releasing, unreleased things, how to handle that. We'll discuss at the time of that. Okay. Normally, we are going to S11 and we are creating the table, correct? So Z22 student info or whatever it is. What is this tables? These are the row based tables. Okay. So how it is going to store the columns, you can see here it's going to store the field names under the columns, and this data and all storing in a row based. this entire row. Okay, like that it's going to store. But in HANA, what they came into the picture, column based. They can store as a column based. How you can create, everything is same. Only you have to choose column store. Okay, in the database. While seeing in the presentation layer, no difference at the data. But in the storing of in the database, it's going to store as a column store or row store or undefined. You are not defined means automatically system will take it as a column store if it is HANA database. If it is Oracle database, it will take it as a row based automatically. But you can have the option, you can specify that I want column store or row store. So this is the option. This tab itself won't be available in the older versions. This tab itself available only in the latest versions in the table. In the technical settings, you can able to see this. So this is the column based tables. This is the innovation which happens in the software. We have, one second. Hello. Okay. So which document I'm showing here, right? Yeah. So this is row versus column store. Tables are innovated. Okay. So what is the use of this secondary? Sorry, what is the use of this column store? How it will improve the performance? That if you want to know, first we need to know how the tables are storing, and in the row based, how it is storing in the column based, that we need to see. సో ఇప్పుడు దాకా ఏం నేర్చుకున్నామా, సహానా అనేది సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ప్లస్ హార్డ్వేర్ రెండు కాంబినేషన్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్నోవేషన్స్ జరిగాయి, అందుకే అది ఫాస్టర్గా ఉంది అని డిస్కస్ చేసుకున్నాం. సో సాఫ్ట్వేర్లో ఏం ఇన్నోవేషన్స్, హార్డ్వేర్లో అంటే తక్కువ మెమరీలో మోర్ ప్రాసెసింగ్స్ ఇవన్నీ ఉంటున్నాయి, అది ఓకే. బట్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్లో మనకి ఎలా అది యూజ్ అవుతుంది, సో ఎలా ఫాస్టర్ అవుతుంది అని డిస్కస్ చేయాలంటే దాంట్లో ఫస్ట్ పాయింట్ విల్ బి రో వర్సెస్ కాలం. సో రో వర్సెస్ కాలం అంటే ఎలా స్టోర్ అవుతుంది? రో అంటే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నాకు ఒక టేబుల్ ఉంది, సో రో వైజ్ స్టోర్ అవుతుంది. సో 1001 అనేది ఒక కస్టమర్, షిప్ 1 అనేది వాళ్ళ అడ్రస్ అనుకుంటే, మెటీరియల్ 1 500 యూనిట్స్, సో యూరోస్ 500 యూరోస్ దే ఆర్ పేయింగ్. సో లైక్ దిస్ రో వైజ్ ఇట్స్ గోయింగ్ టు స్టోర్. ఓకే, సో 101 means it's going to store like 102 and the ship to address, what is the material, like that it's going to store. This is the row wise it's going to store. But when it comes to the column wise, how it is going to store? So it's not going to store like a row matching. So 101 is common, right? In all this 101 will be stored once, 1001, 1002, 1003, like only column, there is no duplicate. Then how we'll know that this is for this?
Yeah.
Means it's going to have an index. Okay. So 1001 is 1, 1002 is 2, 1003 is 3, 1004 is 4. Now for, okay, 1001 for ship 1, okay, for ship 1, 1 and 3 means for 1001, 1003 ship 1. Okay, you can see ship 2 for second and fourth, it is ship 2. It's storing like this, index based, it's storing as column wise. It's not storing like 1 ship 1, 2 ship 2, 3 ship 1, 4 ship 2, like that. It is not repeating. See, it's going to store like this. So no repetition of data, no duplicate. It will be stored in very less space, correct? Instead of repeating the same again and again, it's going to store in very less space. Okay, for that materials also same, it's going to store with the index numbers, and it will store all the information. UR, it's not going to store multiple times, it stores only one with 1 2 3 4 5, all the index numbers will be there. Clear? It's going to store one time, and this is column wise it's storing. Clear? It's not entire row, it's storing separately like column wise. So what happen when it is storing as a column wise? It will be stored in within very less space. So first thing. Second thing, when I'm just pulling the data, for example, I want to see for material 1, Okay, for laptops material 1, how much sales are happen, I want to see. So when I want to do the summation for material 1 here, what I need to do, first I need to select all the materials, correct? So fetch on the materials, then based on the materials you need to do the calculation how much it is happen and all. But here if you see for material 1 what is the index, I can do the summation very easily, correct? For the material 1 what and all it's having, it can do summation very easily here. Okay, so when I want the summations, aggregations, like that calculations, it will be easy while doing the column store, while fetching the data itself also. For example, if I am writing a select statement based on key field, it will take binary search in the backend and it will be faster. But if it is non-key field, if you're writing anything, you need to improve the performance, means you need a secondary index to create so that it will keep the data in sorting and then you are going to fetch. Here, no need of that, because every column is storing like an individual column. It always having the data in a sorting manner only. So always it can hit with the binary search. No need of creating the secondary index here. So each and every column is storing with the index only, and the data always in the sorting order. So it will fetch very faster with the binary search. No need of creating any secondary indexes in the HANA when it is comes to the column store. Clear? So these and all advantages of column store. సో ఏం చెప్తున్నామ్మా, రోజ్ స్టోర్ అంటే ఎంటైర్ రోజ్గా స్టోర్ అవుతుంది. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మీకు ఇది కన్ఫ్యూజన్గా ఉంది అనుకుంటే యూ కెన్ గో ఫర్ యువర్ స్టూడెంట్ టేబుల్ ఓన్లీ. ఓకే, టైమ్ అప్. ఐ థింక్ ఐల్ జస్ట్ లాగిన్ అగైన్. Is it visible, ma?
Yes, ma'am.
These are the row based. Okay, so row based ones. If I'm just pulling the information saying that select, okay, student class who are staying in 7th. Okay, so when I'm writing in where condition 7, what happened, this is not a key field. Wherever it is there, it will take linear search, it will take time. But if it is storing as a column wise, what you'll have in the column only 7 and 8, correct? Who and all the index number will be there for the 7, so it will pick those records easily. Okay, when I want to see the fee payment of the students, okay, so the fee payment of the students who are in 8th class, so directly no need of filtering all these things, I can just pull 8 for the 8th, what and all records are there, then I can do the summation very easily. So each and everything is going to store like a column. Okay, fetching the data will be easy, doing the calculations will be easy, no need of creating the secondary indexes, and it is not going to repeat the data. Here you can see how many columns. For example, 10,000 students are there, for example, so in 2 classes. So how many times it's going to repeat? Same 10,000 times, the same 8th, 7th, 8th, 7th, it's going to repeat. But if you are storing as a column wise, only two, okay, two information, 7, 8, but it is having index numbers, that's it. So how much space is reduced, correct? So like that, it's going to be very useful when it is go to the column store, the performance will be improved. Is it clear, ma? Online మనకి
Yes, ma'am.
స్టోర్ చేసుకున్నప్పుడు ఇలా ఎంటైర్ డేటా ఇలా స్టోర్ అవుతుంది కాబట్టి మనకి ఈ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ యునిక్‌గానే ఉంది. ప్రాబ్లమ్ లేదు. బట్ క్లాస్, సెక్షన్ ఇవి చూసారంటే జాయినింగ్ డేట్స్, సో కొన్ని ఫీల్డ్స్ చాలా వరకు సేమ్ ఉంటాయి. జెండర్ గాని, ఓకే. సో ఇవి చాలా వరకు సేమ్ ఉంటాయి. అలాంటప్పుడు అన్నెసెసరీగా రిపీట్ చేస్తున్నాం కదా! అదే కాలమ్ వైస్ అన్నప్పుడు ఏం చూస్తుంది? అది ఓన్లీ 2 ఎంట్రీస్ మెయింటైన్ చేస్తుంది. ఎయిత్ క్లాస్, సెవెంత్ క్లాస్. ఎవరెవరు వాళ్ళ ఇండెక్స్ నంబర్స్‌తో పెట్టేస్తుంది. సో దట్ ఏమైంది? లెస్ స్పేస్‌లో స్టోర్ చేసుకుంటుంది. అండ్ ఎయిత్ క్లాస్‌కి ఏమేమున్నాయి? సో, ఆ ఫీ అమౌంట్ అనేది ఇక్కడ ఉంటుంది. ఎయిత్ క్లాస్‌కి సంబంధించిన ఫీ అమౌంట్ అంతా టోటల్ చేయాలంటే ఈజీ. కరెక్ట్? సో, ఆ ఇండెక్స్ నంబర్స్‌ని తీసుకుంటే ఈజీగా సమ్మేషన్ తీసేసుకోవచ్చు. సో, కాలిక్యులేషన్స్‌లో గూడా ఈజీ అవుతుంది. స్టోరింగ్‌లో డేటా స్టోరింగ్‌లో ఈ లెస్ స్పేస్‌లో అవుతుంది. అదే మనం సెలెక్ట్ స్టేట్మెంట్ రాస్తున్నప్పుడు నార్మల్‌గా సెలెక్ట్ స్టూడెంట్ నంబర్ అంటే అది బైనరీ సెర్చ్ తీసుకుంటుంది. ఎందుకంటే ప్రైమరీ కీ సార్టింగ్‌లో ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి. అదే నేను ఒక స్టూడెంట్ సిటీ మీదనో ఇంకెక్కడైనా రాయాలి స్ట్రీట్ పైనో అంటే అది కంపల్సరీ సార్టింగ్ ఆర్డర్‌లో ఉండదు. లీనియర్ సెర్చ్ తీసుకుంటుంది నార్మల్ రో బేస్‌లో. అప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తున్నాం మనం సెకండరీ ఇండెక్స్ అనేది క్రియేట్ చేస్తున్నాం. దేనికోసం? ఆ డేటాని సార్ట్ చేసి పెడితే బైనరీ సెర్చ్ తీసుకుంటుంది కాబట్టి ఫాస్ట్‌గా అవుతుంది అని. బట్ ఇక్కడ ఈ కాలమ్ స్టోర్ అన్నప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది? స్ట్రీట్స్ అన్నీ రిపీట్ చేస్తున్నాయి అనుకోండి. దాన్ని అలాగే రిపిటీషన్‌లో ఉండదు కదా! ఆల్రెడీ సార్టింగ్‌లో పెట్టేసి ఉంటుంది. సో, ఆల్వేస్ బైనరీ సెర్చ్ తీసుకొని తీసుకొచ్చేస్తుంది. సో, ఈజీ. ఓకే. సో, ఇవన్నీ అడ్వాంటేజెస్ ఆఫ్ కాలమ్ స్టోర్. సో, ప్రతి ఒక్క కాలమ్ ఒక్కొక్క సెపరేట్‌గా స్టోర్ అయి ఉంటుంది విత్ ఇండెక్స్ నంబర్స్. లింక్. ఓకే. క్లియరా? ఆన్‌లైన్?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, that is the advantage of row versus column store. But so, is it always recommendable to go for column store? Is it always recommendable for go for row store? When to go for row store? When to go for column store? Okay, so that we are going to discuss now. ఓకే. మనకి 2 ఆప్షన్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ఇప్పుడు అన్నీ కాలమ్ వైస్‌లో అంత అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఉన్నప్పుడు మొత్తం కాలమ్ స్టోరే పెట్టేయొచ్చు కదా! మళ్ళా ఆప్షన్ ఎందుకు ఇచ్చాడు రో స్టోర్ కూడా? కరెక్టా? మొత్తం అంతా కన్వర్ట్ చేసి పడేయొచ్చు కదా! సో, స్టాండర్డ్ టేబుల్స్ అన్నిటిని కన్వర్ట్ చేసేసాడు కాలమ్ స్టోర్ అని. మరి ఇంకో రేడియో బటన్ ఎందుకు ఇచ్చారు? రో స్టోర్ కావాలంటే కూడా యూజ్ చేసుకో, చేంజ్ చేసుకో అని ఎందుకు ఇచ్చారు? సో there should be some advantages with the row store also, some disadvantages with the column store also. That's the reason they given both the options. Correct? సో ఏంటి అడ్వాంటేజెస్ ఏంటి డిసడ్వాంటేజెస్ ఏంటి అడ్వాంటేజెస్ ఆల్రెడీ డిస్కస్ చేసేసాం కాలమ్ స్టోర్ అంటే ఇండివిజువల్ కాలమ్ స్టోర్ అవుతుంది సో దట్ స్టోరింగ్ లెస్ స్పేస్లో స్టోర్ అవుతుంది ఫెచింగ్ క్యాపబిలిటీస్ మోర్ అగ్రిగేషన్స్ అవి ఈజీగా చేసుకోవచ్చు ఇవన్నీ సెకండరీ ఇండెక్సెస్ అవసరం లేదు ఇవన్నీ అడ్వాంటేజెస్ మరి డిసడ్వాంటేజెస్ ఏంటి ఎందుకు వీ నీడ్ టు గో ఫర్ రో స్టోర్ దాట్ వీ విల్ డిస్కస్ when to go for row store, when to go for column store. Can we start?
Yes, ma'am.
డిస్ప్లే స్క్రీన్ లో ఎలా షో చేస్తుందో
Yeah, showing a part will be always like this only.
బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ ప్రాసెస్
Yes, in the database, it's going to store like this. You are able to see always in a row format only. It can't store it as show it as a in column format. Okay. Yeah. So then we are going to start with row store and column store. So when to go for when okay when I'm going to fetch entire table data okay so always I want my student entire information not like student number percentage only I whenever I'm using this table I want the entire information at that time when you're pulling entire information then column store will be slow when you are fetching all the fields information. Why it is slow? Because if you observe here, okay, if you want entire row, first it need to pick that 1001. What is the index 1? It need to go here and pick this and it need to read that for 1 what is the match, for 1 what is the amount, for 1 what is the euro. individual columns it need to read, which will take more time than row store. So when I want all the fields from a table, then row store is the best. You can just read only 1001, it will pick that entire row and get it. So when you want select star, you know that we already learned the syntaxes. Select star means all the fields. When you want all the fields information from a table, row store is the best. If you want only few fields, so most of the cases, if you see VBAK table, how many are there? 140. How many we used in our program? Almost 4 to 5. Okay. Hardly if you use in our real time also 10 to 11. That's it. So we are not going to use almost 100 fields in the standard, whatever is there. All the tables are having multiple fields. We are not going to take at all the fields anytime, correct? So we are always going to fetch only few fields from the standard. When you are fetching only few fields, at that time filtering with this row based, instead of that column store is the best performance. When you want all the fields, row based. When you want few fields, column based. Clear, right? నాకు కొన్ని ఫీల్డ్స్ మాత్రమే తెచ్చుకోవాలంటే కాలమ్ స్టోర్ ఇస్ ద బెస్ట్. నాకు అన్ని ఫీల్డ్స్ తెచ్చుకోవాలి అంటే రో బేస్డ్ ఇస్ ద బెస్ట్. ఫస్ట్ డిఫరెన్స్ క్లియర్ అమ్మా? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And second point. So when we have key fields, so when you will choose column versus row table, when you are creating a table, at that time you will choose the row versus column. Otherwise, all the most of the transparent tables are already marked. Standard tables are already marked as custom column store. Okay. When you are creating, you will take the decision either you want row based or column based. So first requirement, you already know that you want all the fields or few fields. Now second, when you are creating, how many key fields are there in the table? Okay, how many key fields are there? So I'm having 10 fields in my table, and almost 5 fields are key fields. Okay, so 10 fields are there, almost 5 fields are key fields. Then 5 fields information will be unique. Only 5 fields is having the data duplicate. At that time you can go for row store. So unique information, it is not repeating. At that time row store is the best one. So, but I'm having a table where only one field is the key field, remaining 9 fields are non-key fields. So, unique information only one, remaining means having duplicates. So, go for column store. So, based on your key combination, means the data will be unique or not. It depends, right? So, that time, if you have more number of key fields, go for row store. Less number of key fields, go for column store. So while key fields we are discussing, because in the data, how it will be having unique information. Okay. When you have unique information, it's storing in column store instead of that row store is the best one. సో ఫస్ట్ డిఫరెన్స్ అయిపోయింది. సెకండ్ డిఫరెన్స్ ఏంటంటే మనం టేబుల్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు ఎన్ని కీ ఫీల్డ్స్ ఉన్నాయి అనేది చెక్ చేసుకుంటున్నాం. కీ ఫీల్డ్స్లో డూప్లికేట్స్ డేటా అలో చేస్తుందా? చేయదు. యూనిక్యూగానే పెట్టుకుంటాం. యూనిక్యూ డేటా వచ్చినప్పుడు రో స్టోర్లో చేసుకోవడం బెస్ట్. డూప్లికేషన్ ఉన్నప్పుడే కాలమ్ స్టోర్లో స్టోర్ చేసుకోవడం బెస్ట్. సో బేస్డ్ ఆన్ ద కీ ఫీల్డ్స్ మనం రో స్టోరా కాలమ్ స్టోరా అనేది చూస్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. క్లియరా?
Yeah.
Then storing capacity, data storing. Okay, so I'm just creating a table for my students table. Okay, how many students will come here? It will be in thousands. Okay, so at that time, in the thousands of means less amount of data. At that time I no need of going for column store. I can go for row store itself, because data itself is very less. So when I'm going for invoices, how many invoices will come per year? or something, means it will be having huge amount of data in the companies where sales is happening. So at that time, what happened? Storing the data as a column store as the best one. సో నాకు తక్కువ డేటా అన్నప్పుడు రో స్టోర్ చేసుకున్నా కూడా పెద్ద డిఫరెన్స్ ఏం లేదు కదా. ఎక్కువ ఉన్నప్పుడే కదా డేటా ఎక్కువ కన్జ్యూమ్ చేసుకుంటుంది స్పేస్ని. అప్పుడే కదా నేను కాలం స్టోర్కి వెళ్తే తక్కువ స్పేస్లో స్టోర్ చేసుకోవాలి. తక్కువ డేటా ఉన్నప్పుడు మళ్ళీ దాన్ని తగ్గించాల్సిన అవసరం ఏం లేదు కదా. సో డేటా లెస్గా ఉన్నప్పుడు రో స్టోర్కి వెళ్ళండి. సో డేటా ఎక్కువ ఉన్నప్పుడు కాలం స్టోర్కి వెళ్ళండి. క్లియరా? నెక్స్ట్, సో నాకు క్యాలిక్యులేషన్స్ జరుగుతున్నాయి, మోస్ట్లీ ఈ టేబుల్లోంచి తీసుకొని క్యాలిక్యులేషన్స్ చేస్తూనే ఉన్నాను అన్నప్పుడు గో ఫర్ కాలమ్ స్టోర్. సో నాట్ క్యాలిక్యులేషన్స్ వైజ్, ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు ఫెచ్ అండ్ షో ద డేటా, దెన్ గో ఫర్ రో స్టోర్. ఓకే, అండ్ mostly you are inserting the data into the table. Mostly you are inserting the data manually. Frequently you are inserting the data, then go for row store. If you are not inserting the data, always you are going to pull the information for your displaying purpose, go for column store. సో ఎక్కువ డేటాస్ని వెళ్ళి నువ్వు క్రియేట్ చేస్తా అంటే రో స్టోర్కి వెళ్ళు బెస్ట్. డేటాని ఫెచ్ చేసుకొని డిస్ప్లే చేసుకోవడానికే అంటే గో ఫర్ కాలమ్ స్టోర్, దట్ ఈస్ ద బెస్ట్. ఓకే, సో దీస్ ఆర్ ద key things we have to remember when we are going to choose the row versus column store table. So how to change that? It's very simple. Everything is same. How you are going to create the table? Everything is same. In the technical settings, you are going to choose the radio button, column or row. That's it. Remaining everything is same. Okay. You can see here when we go for row store and column store, the points already given. So if the select star on your table unavoidable, then go for row store. When to go for row store? All these points. When we do not have most values as unique values, sorry, when we do have most values, mostly unique values means more primary keys, then go for. If the data volume in the table is very low, less amount of data, table has more write operations than read operations, means you are writing the data, inserting the data more than you are fetching the data. Usually org tables, config tables will be row stores. The guidance of choosing row is strict. Means what is this strict? If you are choosing as a row store table, the code reviewer is going to ask you why you are going to choose it as a row store. Nobody will stop you. You can choose it as a row store table, but you need to give the reason to the code reviewer why you are choosing as a row store. Clear? These are the reasons you can say. So this is my material table, which I'm just going to always fetch all the fields from my custom table. I can go for row store. It is having only 5 records. Okay, and I'm going to delete the old records and insert new records. Okay, always. And I'm just going to always delete the old record and adding new record whenever I'm doing the performance. Writing operations are more. I'm having less amount of data. I want all the fields. See, I'm having more key fields. All these reasons are there to go for row store. Is it clear why we need to go for row store?
Yeah, clear, ma'am.
Yeah. When to go for column store? If we want to apply any aggregations on data, some min max amount like count and all, when you want to do, then you can go for. Whenever table columns have duplicate values, which is very true in SAP, in tables which stores master and transactional data, comparison will be good. So what we are doing, so we have master data and transparent tables. We already saw that. VBAK table, VBAP table, MARA table, correct?
Yeah.
So how many duplicates? If you are not observed just now, you just open and see. I'm just going for VBAK table. See, VBLN is the only key field, correct? Remaining and all will have the duplicate data. You can see that we have almost like 15,000 something records. If you see yarnum, sort it. So how many names are there? Okay. For example, I want to see how many names are there. So which we have 15,396 records total table.
Yeah.
But if you see here, 349 names only. 15,000 is having only 349 names. Means that much duplicates. Correct? If you observe here, another field like this, you can observe for each and every field, bkorg. I'm just going to do the filter. Say press F4. How many values are there in that? It will see 40 entries only. You have 15,000 entries. For that 40 only repeating again and again. Correct? So which is duplicates are more or not? Yes or no, ma? సో
Yes,
మనకి
ma'am.
15,000 రికార్డ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. బట్ దానికి ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి ఇక్కడ చూసామంటే 20నే. ఇవి ఇంకా చూసారంటే ఇంకా లెస్, 20నే ఉన్నాయి. సో అవేంటి మళ్ళీ మళ్ళీ రిపీట్ చేస్తున్నాయి. అంటే 15,396 టైమ్స్ స్టోర్ చేసే కన్నా 20 టైమ్స్ విత్ ఇండెక్స్ నంబర్ స్టోర్ చేస్తే వెరీ లెస్ స్పేస్లో స్టోర్ అయిపోతుంది కదా. కరెక్ట్? దట్స్ ద రీజన్ ఈ ట్రాన్స్పరెంట్ టేబుల్స్. ఓకే. సో మనం ఆల్రెడీ నేర్చుకున్నాం మాస్టర్ టేబుల్స్, ట్రాన్స్పరెంట్ టేబుల్స్ అవన్నీ. మాస్టర్ టేబుల్కి వెళ్దాం. మారా I'm just removing the number of hits. Material only the unique information. Correct? If you go for the remaining fields, say I'm just having that MTRT, material type. How many material types are there? You can see 22,000. These are the material count. 55 are the material types. Correct? So means you are having duplicate data always in the master tables and transactional tables. So that's the reason they converted all the master and transactional tables as columns. Column stored. Already SAP converted all the tables as column stored. And whenever you are fetching the data from Mara table, are you going to fetch all the fields? Obviously no. You want only few fields that you are going to fetch. So when you want few fields and you have large amount of data, duplicate data is more, then go for column store. That's what we are discussing. Correct? Yeah. And already it is converted into column store. When you are creating also, you need to check how many key fields are there, whether the data is more. I'm just going to read a more, then go for column store. SAP have already changed most of their tables to column store, which means it is best practice. Volume of table is very high. When you have large amount of data, yes, go for column store. We read the table more often than write. So we are just going to fetch the data more instead of writing the insert update. Instead of that, mostly we are fetching the data to display the data, to show the data, to manipulate like that. Then it will be column store is the best one. Is it clear, ma? This is very
Yes, ma'am.
important for the interview also. Definitely they'll ask what is the innovation happen in the HANA. So you can say in the database tables level we have two options, column store and row store. Okay, so when to go for column store, when to go for row store. So this is definitely interview question. You can just keep these points ready so that you can answer. Clear, ma?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then how to change the table to row store or column store means very simple. Table creation is not going to change at all. It will be the same how you learn up to now. Okay. So Z22 student info or whatever is there, go for change, go to the technical settings, and go to the database specific properties. You'll have column store by default, but no, I'm having key fields more, I want to store it as row store. Yes, choose the radio button, but you have to give the justification to the reviewers and why you created as row store. Okay, so activate it. Done.
By default, count store.
By default, it will store it as a column store only, because column store is the best practice, right? So by default it will take. But if you want change, yes, of course you can change it. Remaining everything is same, only whatever we learn. Only in the technical settings you are going to see this option. Okay, data specific process. In this only we have to choose.
అలా అయితే మనం సెకండరీ ఇండెక్స్ క్రియేట్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం
అవసరమే లేదు ఇంకా. సో ఎప్పుడు కాలమ్ స్టోర్
Column store అన్నప్పుడు
రో స్టోర్ ప్లస్ నాకు కావాలి వేరే ఫీల్డ్, సెకండరీ ఇండెక్స్ యూ కెన్ క్రియేట్. ఓకే, అసలు సెకండరీ ఇండెక్స్ వద్దు కాబట్టే కదా రో స్టోర్కి వెళ్తున్నాం. తక్కువ డేటా ఉంది, తక్కువ డేటా ఉన్నప్పుడు నీకు టైం ఎందుకు ఎక్కువ తీసుకుంటుంది? కరెక్టా? రీడే నువ్వు తక్కువ చేస్తున్నావు. కరెక్ట్? యా. సో దిస్ ఈస్ అబౌట్ యువర్ రో వర్సెస్ కాలమ్ స్టోర్ టేబుల్స్. ఎనీథింగ్? ఎనీ క్వశ్చన్స్? ఎనీ క్వశ్చన్స్ మా? If no, then I'll go for the next. So whenever we say that HANA means, we'll be saying that in the interviews and wherever you go, they'll say that code to paradigm or code push down techniques. What is this code to paradigm? What is this code push down techniques actually? Means normally we are having the database where all the tables are storing, and application layer we have, presentation layer we have. So what we are doing when we are writing the program selection screen, after that data objects means we are going to fetch the data and all selects. Okay, after that we are going to write the processing logic, loops, reads and all, then finally display logic. So where it is going to hit, selection screen is going to hit an application layer, and then we are going to select the data. How we are going to select the data? We'll hit the table, get the data and stores into internal table, application layer, and we are going to write the processing logic, combining all the internal tables means where it is running in the application layer, it's running the logic. Then display the data, we are projecting the data to presentation. So what happened? The code is more running in the application layer. Correct?
Yes,
So this is happening in our traditional,
traditional.
okay, so database. Now when it is comes to HANA database, what I can do, I can keep selection screen only. I can send this select statement processing logic entire, I can push it to database itself. No need of writing that in the application layer. I can write the select the data, and I'm just using looping and processing for combining that. Instead of saying that here, what I can do, I can write while selecting itself. Select, combine all the tables, do the calculation, everything do it, and finally get into my internal table. Now what happened? While fetching select itself, it's doing that entire combining, processing logic, the select statements, everything is happening here itself. And finally you have internal table you are projecting.
Yeah.
So where it is happening now? In the database level. So that's the reason it is called code to data paradigm or code push down techniques. Okay, how can you push that select statement, processing statement to database layer? That we will discuss. Okay, so but what is code push down techniques? Before we are only fetching the data, we are not doing anything in the database, only fetching the data and doing everything in the application layer. But now we are not at all doing anything here, everything we are doing in the database layer level itself. How can we do it, ma'am? So that I'm going to explain. Okay, is it clear what is code push down? So everything is happening now in the database layer itself. Clear, ma?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is HANA modeling. I already discussed. So the modeling parts will be done by the BI team. They are going to work on that. So we have that code push down techniques. What and all are available in the code push down techniques? That is not listed here. Okay. The same document. Okay. What and all code push down techniques? That is not listed here. I'm going to list out now. In the code push down techniques, first one will be column store tables. First is column store tables. So what happen when you are storing the tables in the column wise? You have very less space and you are fetching the data very faster, doing the calculations faster, which will be improving your performance of the program. So that is also comes under code push down technique. Second option, we have new syntaxes. Okay, so from 7.4 onwards we have ABAP new syntaxes. We have, by using this syntaxes, the code will be pushed down to the database layer. And the third one is serious. Okay, by using core data services also, we are just going to push down that everything to the database itself. And fourth one, we have AMDPs. What is all these things? We'll discuss one by one. Only column store we discuss now. We are going to discuss one by one each point. AMDPs, which is going to classes and method only, which is also going to trigger on the database itself as a procedure. Then we have like ALV IDAs. So what is this ALV IDAs? Up to now we saw that ALV reports, correct? Same like that we are going to see ALV IDAs, which is same reports only, which is going to fetch the data on chunks and it will be improved performance a lot. It's going to always trigger on the database only. So how it is going to trigger on the database, what and all we are going to learn under this, we are going to see this. So these and all comes under code push down techniques. Under HANA, we are going to learn. Okay, ma? So these and all code push down techniques. And HANA modeling, we are not going to work on HANA modeling. That is for BW people. But what will be there under the HANA modeling means they are going to create some views. They have analytical views, attributes views, calculation views like that. How we created like projection view, maintenance view like that. So they are going to create the views. That is going to be HANA modeling part. Clear, ma? So tomorrow's class, I'm going to, I just shown today column versus row store tables differences. Tomorrow I'm going to start the ABAP new syntaxes. So tomorrow I'm going to start with the ABAP new syntaxes, where you can see that old versus new syntaxes difference. There we are writing select like this. Here we are going to write select like this. There we are going to declare the variable like this. Here we are going to declare variable like this. So the differences we can see that. Okay, ma. Step by step we are going to cover these concepts under the our ABAP and HANA. Any questions up to here? Okay, fine. So we'll meet in the tomorrow's class and we are going to see the practical part of old versus new and how we are going to connect to the ABAP and HANA. When it is HANA database, is it going to GUI supports? How we are going to connect to the system, that I will show in the tomorrow's class. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good
Thank
day.
you, madam.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a good day.